Hey guys, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today. I wanted to share my thoughts about why I believe that Martell and Arion are currently in the narcissistic triangulation phase of their relationship. If you guys remember at the end of season 2, and Martell went to Dr. Francis' office, and Martell basically said that, Melody was an orange and Arion was an orange. One orange tasted one way, one orange tasted another way. Martell liked Arion's oranges just as much as or more than Melody's oranges. So what was interesting about that statement was the fact that Martell used an object to describe his wife. And he was comparing his wife to an object of equal or similar value, right? If you take two oranges and compare them side by side, there are very little differences between one orange and another. One may be a little bigger, one may be smaller, one may be a little sweeter, one may be a little harder, right? But on a surface level, two oranges have very similar physical characteristics. They're round, they're orange, they have pitted skin, you pluck them from a tree, you assume they have a certain flavor because all oranges have a similar flavor. It may not be exactly the same, but it's similar in taste. A person can be blindfolded and they can taste one orange and another, and they'll say, oh, these are both oranges. But one orange may taste different from the other orange. Not much different, depending on the region, the season, when you pluck the orange or whatever. It was interesting that Martell compared a woman that he was married to for over a decade, that gave him 4 children, that started 2 successful businesses with him, that gave him a legacy and a name and reputation, that put hard work, energy, and effort into their businesses. He compared that to someone who gave him sex on demand. I'm going to say that again. Martell compared a woman, the mother of his children, his wife, and his business partner, to a woman who just gave him oral sex, right? He said these 2 women are equal. Melody is hardworking, beautiful, intelligent, ambitious, gave me 4 kids, 2 successful businesses, a reality show, all this stuff. She is equal to a woman giving me head on demand. That is objectification in its simplest form. You have no value to me outside of how much you pleasure me. If you pleasure me, you are equal to a woman who has essentially built my whole life for me and with me. I'm going to compare my wife, who has built me up to be the man that I am today, who's helped me become the man I am today, with the woman who slobs my knob on demand. So that is what Martell was doing during the narcissistic triangulation phase. He was essentially saying to Melody, it doesn't matter how much you contributed to our relationship. It doesn't matter how much you do for us on a daily basis. It doesn't matter how good of a mother you are to our children. It doesn't matter how loyal you've been to me. It doesn't matter how many times you forgive me. This woman gives me oral sex the way that I like it on demand, and she makes me feel superior to her because she doesn't have to do any of those things that I expect you to do with me as my wife, right? I expect Melody to show up as the CEO of Holt & Holt to make sure that the business is running successfully. I expect Melody to mother our children to the extent that they're not being emotionally, physically, and psychologically neglected. I expect you to lay down and give me the 5 children that I said that I wanted. I expect you to be available to me on demand, no matter how many competing obligations you have in your real life when it comes to maintaining the family business that we're doing together. I expect that from you, right? But no matter how much more I expect from you as my wife and the mother of my children and my business partner, you are still of equal value. You are still the same as this orange over here who gives me oral sex on demand. When women talk about men objectifying them, this is what they mean. Now, there are some women like Arion who like to be objectified. All they talk about is the value of their objectification, how they look, how good they are in bed, and that's it. You have no other value outside of how you can pleasure a man, right? So no matter what Melody contributed to their relationship, She was just an orange. And if you were to look at an orange tree from a distance, you could see hundreds of oranges. They all look the same from a distance. How would you differentiate one orange from another? So Martell spent 12 years with one woman. And basically he could not identify the things that distinguish her from the other oranges on the tree. It's almost like if I can find one, I can find the other. This is objectification. This is how narcissists see most people, as objects to move around on a chessboard. No matter how much you do for me, no matter how intelligent you are, how brilliant you are, how hardworking you are, how long-suffering you are for me, I don't see you differently than the thousands of other oranges or other women out there who've done nothing for me. So Melody ultimately had to leave that relationship because Martell was saying that no matter how much you've done for me, with me, how much you've given me, this peasant is still equal to you. This peasant is even superior to you because she makes me feel like a man and you do not. And you don't make me feel like a man because you are doing all of the things that I expected you to do, right? I expect you to run businesses, to be Mrs. Mom, to be Superwoman. And when you're a Superwoman doesn't need Superman as much as a peasant does, right? So I expect you to be a Superwoman. And because I expect you to be a Superwoman, you have less value to me than a woman who's a peasant, who I call the peasant, who doesn't have to do anything but slob on my knob when I want her to. So Melody had to bounce, right? And before she bounced, Martell would weaponize his mistress against Melody to make her feel smaller and to make him feel more secure within himself. So I'm going to use one orange to attack another orange because they have no distinguishing characteristics other than how much they can pleasure me as a man. Forget their individual qualities and attributes and characteristics. They're just oranges, right? All women are oranges to me because I'm a man in a chauvinistic society and I'm a narcissist, okay? So now he attacked Melody with Arion. And the purpose of him doing that was to keep Melody in her place, to maintain control over her by saying, if you don't do what I want you to do, I have somebody who will. If you don't suck my dick on demand, I have somebody who will. If you don't dim your light to submit to me, I have somebody who will make me feel better about myself. And this person doesn't have to do anything. They just have to show up and I'll spend your money on them because you're just like them. You're just an object. You're not the mother of my kids. You're not my business partner. You're not my wife. You're just open legs and my self-esteem and my ego, basically. So Melody bounced and Arion happily stepped in to become the main source of supply because she didn't mind being objectified. Her only value is how she looks and how she performs in bed. She's cool with the dynamic because she has nothing else to offer in this situation. But when you're dealing with narcissists, there's always going to be somebody else. They always need somebody else to make them feel better in the moment. So once Martell gets bored with Arion, or Arion pops up at the mouth, or Arion expresses disappointment, or boredom, or being tired, or whatever, here comes the third party. The third party is another woman, could be a friend, right, with benefits. Or it could just be some random woman he meets, in the process of searching for a Melody replacement, a new source of supply that is top tier. Because he's looking for another Melody. He's not looking for another Arion. He doesn't want two Arions. He wants another Melody. Okay? So in the process of him looking for another Melody, what he will do in the triangulation situation is create distance and arguments in order to have the opportunity to groom the new source of supply. So this is what Martell did with Arion. When Martell was still married to Melody, he would speak to Arion about Melody's business. He would complain about Melody to Arion to compare her to Melody, right? To say, you're better than her because you do this. I don't complain about you to her. I complain about Melody to you because I don't think there's anything wrong with you. You are exactly the woman I want to be with. And if it wasn't for the businesses, if it wasn't for the money, if it wasn't for the kids, I would be with you. Right? I would be with you. So I'm going to talk about Melody's hair. I'm going to talk about Melody's mothering. I'm going to talk about Melody's money. I'm going to betray my wife by talking about all of her negative qualities and attributes to you to make you feel better as the new source of supply. So now you're going to stay tethered to me because you think we got something substantial going on, because I'm comparing you to somebody who has value in society and to me as a wife, right? Even Arion knew that Melody has some value to Martell because he was married to her and he insisted on staying married to her no matter what he told her. So subconsciously, Arion knew that Martell had valued Melody to some extent. Even though Martell would not admit it to her, the action spoke louder than the words. Meaning, after 5 years, he still did not file for divorce and kept getting Melody pregnant while complaining about her to Arion. So, what is happening now? Because there are rumors going around that Martell may have a new piece, a new situation going on. He's looking for his new Melody. And he went to Atlanta with Destiny and another woman, right? He didn't take the main supply at this point to this event because she would have loved to go. I'm sure Arion would have loved to go to that event with Dr. Heavenly and Destiny. I'm sure, 100%. But now that they're in the triangulation phase, Martell is going to create distance between himself and Arion through his actions and his words, right? And his actions would be something like, not calling when he's supposed to call, not showing up when he's supposed to show up, or, not seeing her every single day when he has time to, because they're supposedly in a relationship, supposed to be, right? But he's not playing her close as if they're in a relationship, right? Creating distance. And this distance gives him the opportunity to seek out new sources of supply and spend more time with other women under the guise of, oh, we're networking. It's business. It's a business. It's an industry party. You ain't got to go. It's about industry people. You wouldn't really fit into that. Stay home and watch the babies, right? That you wanted. Stay home and watch the kids. And when I get back, you better be here playing your position, basically. So what Martell is doing, he is looking for another source of supply that is of equal or greater value to Melody, right? He doesn't want another Arion. If he wanted another Arion, or if he wanted Arion the way that she wants him, he wouldn't be looking for a new supply in the first place. So now he's on a prowl for new supply to weaponize against Arion once she steps out of line, because he doesn't really see her the way that she sees him. She's just an orange. So no matter how loyal she was to him over the past 7 years, no matter how many sacrifices she made for him, no matter how many times she disrespected herself on his behalf, she's still just an object to him. Just like Melody was an object. No matter how many businesses and children, right, and years they put in together, it don't matter, because I can find another orange tomorrow. I can find another orange tomorrow. It goes full circle. So Melody was an orange, right? And Arion was an orange, and she's cool with being an orange until there's another orange who doesn't have to do anything to get Martell's favor. All you have to do is be different and new and put me on a pedestal because I didn't put you through any shit yet, and you see me as the cream of the crop. You see me as the prize. Because now Arion has seen Martell's scars and warts, but she still wants to be with him because he's the prize. But the fact that she sees his scars and his warts, the fact that she's associated with a traumatic experience in his life, is the reason Martell will look for new supply. He wants a fresh new start. He is uncomfortable being in a relationship with somebody who's associated with so much trauma and loss in his life. But she's the best source of supply that he has right now, in the sense of she's been with him the longest. She's willing to put up with a whole bunch of BS just to be with him and stay loyal to him. She doesn't have any other options per se, right? She's dependent on him, right? She still lets him do what he wants to do. She doesn't call him out or anything. So right now, she's the most reliable source of supply. He knows that no matter what happens with other females, she's going to be there to make him feel better about himself for that particular moment. Even if he's, angry with another female and coming to see her as a result of that, it doesn't matter. As long as he's coming home to me, that's all I care about. Even if he was just ripping and running the streets, going to Atlanta, entertaining other women, bringing other women to events as if that's who he wants to be represented by, right? He wants to be represented by someone not like her. Because now she's associated with trauma and poverty, right? Once Melody left, once the golden goose was gone, you broke. You're struggling. And you have a new baby that you need to take care of. And the shame of that situation has put a dent in Arionne's oranges, basically. Right? So you're an orange, but now you're an orange that has been beat up, rolled on the ground, there's dirt on you. So now, even though you've been there for me and loyal to me, right? You've supported me. I've used you to attack my ex-wife, right? Even though all this has happened, you're bruised up now and damaged by my behavior. So I don't distinguish you from the other oranges in the tree because you don't make me feel as good anymore. No matter what you do, I don't feel as good with you anymore because you're associated with something negative in my life. And in spite of everything I may have told you, I never saw you as top tier supply in the first place. That's why I refer to you as a peasant. Not because my wife wanted me to do that, but because that's how I genuinely felt about you and have treated you since. I have treated you like a peasant since I said this. No matter how much I defend you, when it comes to Melody, my defense of you is only because you're a reflection of my choices. It's not because you have any intrinsic value outside of that. You're just an orange, just like Melody was an orange. But you're the orange that I chose to destroy my marriage with. So I have to justify my decision by pretending that I wanted this orange. It was my choice to get a divorce. This orange was sweeter, right? And so now, even though I don't have a lot of information about this new person that Martell's apparently courting, I don't even know if it's 100% true. It is what it is. It's hard to believe. Is it hard to believe that a woman would be with a man with 5 kids from 2 different women that disrespected his ex-wife on national TV? Is it hard to believe that? I shouldn't even be surprised. Because I remember this episode of Iyanla Vanzant where there was a man with 37 children and 12, 13, 14 different mothers. And they were lining it up to compete with other females to have the next baby by him. So I shouldn't be surprised that there's a woman, who has some sort of class about herself and who's attractive, who's interested in being with him. I shouldn't be surprised about that. I shouldn't. But a part of me is. I shouldn't be though. Right? But anyway, if he is courting somebody else or interested in somebody else, it's because he sees Arion as another orange, and he's going to use the new orange to justify why the old orange is worthless. He's going to use the new orange to feel better about himself. Just like Arion was the new orange in Martell and Melody's marriage, Martell is looking for another orange to replace the side piece with. As they always say, when a man cheats with you and you become the main woman, you just open up your position. But it's not even opening up a new position for another Arion. He's looking for another Melody. And the new Melody will become the main, and Arion will be relegated to being a side piece to another main situation. When she figures that out, that's when it'll dawn on her, oh shit, no matter how much time and energy and effort I put into this relationship, I'm still just an orange. Just like Melody was only an orange, no matter how many businesses and children and years they had together. I'm still compared to somebody who just came in the picture. You just met this girl. How is she coming into my spot? How are you comparing me to her? How dare you do that? After all the shit I put up with to be with you. Martell and Arion have now been together for 7, 8 years? That's around the time that Martell started cheating on Melody in their marriage. Around the 7, 8 year mark, I believe. Well, that's the time he met Arion. Okay, he probably did stuff before then. But around the 7, 8 year mark, that's when he started messing around and got bored with the marriage and wanted a new source of supply. So now Arion is a forever girlfriend for 7 years, 8 years. And you still on the hunt for other females and you can't get it in your mind that this man ain't fucking with you like that? After 7 years, you still don't know if you want to be with me or not? After all of the mess that I've been through. Multiple abortions, a new baby, years of just dismissal and lies and deception, being dragged by the public on social media. After all this stuff, you still don't know if you want to be with me or not? You're still entertaining other females? For what? Why would you do that? Because I'm just an orange to you. There's nothing distinguishing me from the other women that you're interested in. no matter how much effort I put into this relationship, no matter how much I've defended you, just like Melody defended you and hid all your flaws for the sake of maintaining a united front. No matter how much she did for you, no matter how much I do for you, you still don't see me differently from the other oranges on that tree. That's how triangulation works. So once Martell finds somebody that he likes, who's willing to put up with a lot of BS, that, kind of reminds him of Melody a little bit, once he finds someone like that, it's game on. The countdown will begin again. With narcissists, there's always a countdown for a new relationship. Remember in season 1, Martell told Melody, who was pregnant at the time, that the countdown started 4 years ago? That's what he said to her. So the countdown has now started when it comes to Martell and Arion. The countdown started as soon as Melody filed for divorce, to be honest. As soon as Melody got the divorce and the divorce was finalized, the countdown began to the end of Martell and Arion's relationship. They'll linger around each other for a while because, narcissists don't like to get rid of reliable supply. It doesn't have to be good supply. It's just reliable. I know I can call Old Faithful whenever I get in an argument with my main female, right? With the main chick I try to replace you with, I can call you, 2 days later and say, yeah, I miss you. I'm thinking about you, man. I'm looking forward to moving forward with you, man. You understand what I'm saying? And then she'll be like, yeah, I agree. I love you too. All this crap. And then they're posting pictures for the gram, right? They're taking photos for the gram to prove how loyal they are to each other, how much they love each other. But at the same time, Martell's only doing that to triangulate with his new supply. To say, if you don't do what I want you to do, new supply, here is Arion. I can just go back to her. So you better behave, right? The next time I come through, or else I'm going to go back to this female who has been loyal to me and down for me for 7 years. You're a new supply. You're just coming in the picture. If you don't do what I say, I can just go back to Old Faithful. So Arion doesn't know that whatever photo ops that she does with Martell, it's also for new supply. Because if he already has new supply and he's showing up on IG with her, that's to put his new supply in place. That's to make the new supply feel like she's in the game now. In a sense of, yeah, I was with her, but she's been loyal to me for years. Have you been loyal to me? Can I trust you to be there for me the way she has? Right? We were arguing the other day about this, that, and the third, and you made me feel some kind of way, so I went back to somebody who treated me better. Can you do that for me? Can you be who she's been for me? Even though I don't really value her, her only value is being able to compare you to her to make you feel like you have to compete. The point of triangulation is competition. And men feed into women's need to compete with each other to maintain control over their relationships and to keep multiple situations going on at the same time. Narcissists triangulate to maintain control over their relationships. The goal is control 100% of the time. So if they have to bring in family members or co-workers or relatives or friends that they can use against you to tag team you in an argument that they've created, right, in a conflict or drama or dysfunction that they've started, then they've essentially won, because they always have somebody in their corner to support them. No matter what they do, that is the purpose of narcissistic triangulation, to make sure that Martell always has somebody ready to answer his phone calls whenever he feels insecure that his main supply is not answering the phone or doing what he wants, or when he gets bored and he wants something different. That's what the new supply is there for. There will always be narcissistic supply in Martell's life, a side piece, so to speak. And Arion is willing to put up with a whole lot because she believes that Martell is going to be putting her in the main position. No, he's looking for Melody's replacement to put her in the side position. Do you know how many women that I've heard have been cheating with men for years, and then the man ends up replacing them with a new female, but they never get to be the main girl? They're still the side piece to the new chick that comes in the picture. I believe that's what Martell is doing with Arion. He's looking for another Melody so that she can play the side again, because she was happy playing that side role. That's like golden for a lot of men. A woman willing to be the side piece and willing to be used for sex on demand. Wow, I don't need another one of her. I need another melody that I can hide from her. So now there's a melody that I'm courting and I'm acting like it's all good between us. And I can say, yeah, that's my baby mama. We, kick it sometimes, but I'm not really serious with her like that, right? It's all about you right now. It's all about you, main piece. So now Martell can go back and forth between his baby mama and the new main chick, which is not going to be Arion. It's going to be someone with less baggage, less emotional and psychological baggage and social baggage, because Arion makes Martell look bad. And as a Capricorn, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. So I'm going to end it there. I look forward to reading your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.